Hello everyone, welcome to your weekly forecast for Monday, May 10th through Sunday, May 16th. Before I begin, there's a new moon on Tuesday the 11th, okay, but new moons and full moons are covered in your monthly forecast, so listen to it there. Okay, there's only a few aspects this week, major aspects. Okay, on Wednesday, May 12th, Mars in Cancer sextiles Uranus in Taurus, and on the same day Mercury in Gemini trines Saturn in Aquarius. Let's see here. Thursday, May 13th, the Sun in Taurus sextiles Neptune in Pisces, and on the very same day, on the 13th, Jupiter moves into Pisces. So, okay, of course I had a cat that wanted out. So, for Aries, on Wednesday, May 12th, Mars in Cancer in your 4th house, sextiles Uranus transiting in your 2nd house of Taurus. So having Mars in your 4th house of your home, where you live, the people you live with, your family, the actual physical place where you live though, and the property surrounding it, and your past and your childhood, and mainly your personal life. Okay, so having Mars here means that you're making an awful lot of changes here right now. Mars is a very energetic planet, enthusiastic about whatever house it's transiting in, so you seem like really into right now changing things either within your personal life or your family life, or just something about your home, having this nice sextile to your 2nd house of income, how you earn your money, and the things that you own that are valuable, and your own personal values though too. To me it looks like you are wanting to make a pretty big change within your physical dwelling, you know, your home. You want to maybe purchase some kind of big ticket item or something, or make, you know, some kind of physical changes to your home or your living arrangement, even if you live with other people. You're moving people around even, but it looks like you're able to do it. You definitely have the energy to do it, but it kind of looks like you also have the money right now. On the very same day, Mercury in Gemini in your 3rd house trines Saturn in Aquarius in your 11th house of your friends, where you would normally go to hang out, the group that you hang out with, any kind of organization that you belong to. Okay. Mercury in the 3rd house is in Gemini. It's ruled by Gemini, okay? Rather, Mercury rules Gemini, and Gemini is the natural ruler of the 3rd house. So you are doing an awful lot more communicating right now, running around your own neighborhood. But it looks like you are in touch with your friends more than you normally are. If you're not able to physically get out, you're socializing online in social media. Both of these houses, 11th and 3rd, are like internet. So if you're not seeing people in person, you are, again, either joining a group, possibly a new organization, or you're creating one even. You could have some kind of real nice communication with someone though at this time that maybe that you've just met, or you could hear from a friend. I'd have to say from your past, could be from your childhood even, that really, you know, it makes you feel good, obviously, but it makes you feel a little bit better about whatever, not that you are in any kind of situation, but whatever your current state of mind is. Contact with this person just helps to remind you that there are people in this world that are worth knowing. Okay. On Thursday, May 13th, the Sun in Taurus in your second house, sextiles Neptune transiting in your 12th house of Pisces. And on this very same day, Jupiter moves briefly into Pisces into your 12th house, bringing about some really, really nice occurrences behind the scenes. That's what your 12th house is. It's secrets and confidences. It's actions taken by you or someone else behind the scenes. It's charitable acts by you usually. But you could also be on the receiving end. But a lot of these things are done in secret. It's not like you, not a lot of times you're not deliberately hiding anything. It's just that you don't need to broadcast or feel that you have to broadcast whatever it is that you're doing, because it's usually pretty nice, something pretty nice, and you don't need anybody's approval to begin with, right? So a nice sextile though from your second house of income. We're back to income here. Just means that you are possibly in the works with someone else regarding anything, but it's some way to bring in extra income or increase your income in some way. You have Pluto in your 10th house of Capricorn. It's retrograde, so maybe you are looking into a previous position that you inquired about, never heard from or did hear from, or you took another position, but now this other position that you were interested in is back in your life. You've been contacted by these people, or it could be about anything, but it's happening behind the scenes, and it's something very nice, but right now I do believe it is a secret. Maybe not for long, but right now. For Taurus on May 12th, Wednesday, Mars in Cancer in your 3rd house sextiles Uranus transiting in your 1st house of Taurus. So having Mars in your 3rd house of your immediate area, your everyday life, where you would normally go throughout the course of the day. Having Mars here is almost in a way like having Mercury here. It makes you very active in your area. It makes you very enthusiastic, very interested in what's even going on in your neighborhood, possibly with your neighbors. There may have been something in that area, actually, that you needed to correct in some way. This is a time where you may speak up to, let's say, like a neighbor who's possibly getting on your nerves, or they're doing something that they shouldn't be doing, or they're just annoying or whatever. You know, this is the time that you would have that talk with them, or even like some business in your area. If you if there's something you would like to say or do in regards to even your siblings, your cousins, but it's like your area, okay? This would be the time to do it, because it seems like people are more open to you right now. You're saying this in such a way, they may be surprised by your feelings, but you're saying it in such a way that you're not really offending anyone, okay? In fact, you may be the voice of the whole neighborhood, because maybe somebody had to say it, somebody had to do it, and you self-appointed yourself. It's not like you were elected, but you just more or less had enough. Okay, so anyways, on the very same day, Mercury in Gemini in your 2nd house trines Saturn in your 10th house of Aquarius. So having Mercury in your 2nd house of income, okay, 10th house where you have Aquarius, your 10th house of career. Okay, so it looks like you are receiving that raise. Jupiter is also transiting in your 10th house along with Saturn, but it will be briefly moving into Pisces this month. But meanwhile, these two planets have been here, though, like together since December in your 10th house, and it usually brings about a promotion of some kind, a better position, perhaps a whole new career, or a whole new position within a current company, or a new position in a completely different company, or if you are retired or you don't work at all, there's still some kind of status or celebrity type whatever coming into your life. You're on display, or your reputation is out there for people to view, and they're saying very nice things about you. But having Mercury, though, in your second house, to me it looks like it's an increase in income from your job. And it's one of the perks of your promotion or whatever. So on Thursday, May 13th, the Sun in your first house in Taurus sextiles Neptune, transiting in Pisces in your 11th house, and on the very same day is when Jupiter moves into Pisces. So you'll have Jupiter and Neptune in your 11th house. At this time, just having Jupiter here kind of may bring, it's not going to be immediate, may not even notice it, but it could expand your circle of friends and bring somebody really nice into your life. Somebody really beneficial to you personally, but also just someone like worth knowing, a very good person. Okay, you could also even come across a group that you would like to join at this time that does the same thing. Okay, for Gemini, on Wednesday, May 12th, Mars in Cancer in your second house sextiles Uranus, transiting in your 12th house of Taurus. So you just had Mars in your first house, which made you very active, and enthusiastic about going after what you want. Okay, so having Mars in your second house of income means that you want paid for it now, more or less. You want more money. You need to bring in more money. You want to increase your earnings in some way. And this sextile to your 12th house happens in secret or behind the scenes. Whatever. You may still be working on something. Even it could be a project, but it could just be some kind of move that you're about ready to make. Especially when the Sun moves into your first house, like at the end of the month, and you're just shoring up, loose ends or whatever. Yeah, just putting finishing touches or tweaking possibly something. On the same day, okay, Mercury in your first house in Gemini trines Saturn, transiting in your 9th house of Aquarius. So this is a nice stable kind of transit, and I believe that's what you're trying to do. Okay, a nice trine from your first house, your own personality, your verbal attributes are helping you in some way. Let's say like the 9th house is many things, but one of them is legal matters. Okay, so there could be some kind of legal arrangement even that you have with someone, or that you are forming with someone right now, and so you're just making sure that that's all on the up and up, and it's fair to everyone involved. You could also be just communicating with someone right now who lives at a distance. The 9th house is foreign anything, okay, foreign countries, people, subjects, could be any, a foreign class that you're taking. You could even be learning another language right now. But anyways, all of this brings about a solid outcome to whatever it is that you're doing at this time. If you're having a communication with someone in regards to, again, like I said, legal matters. But if you are even making travel plans is another thing, or planning to learn something, to take some kind of class, or to just learn something from someone else, or learn something on your own. Maybe that is something that you're doing behind the scenes. Okay, that whole schmeal that you're about ready to spring on the world. Okay. On Thursday, May 13th, the Sun in Taurus in your 12th house sextiles Neptune, transiting in your 10th house of Pisces. And on this very same day, Jupiter does move into Pisces very briefly. So you will have Jupiter and Neptune in your 10th house of career, where you may have been like kind of distressed in a way in regards to whatever it is that you do for a living. The pandemic may not have treated you very well. Maybe your livelihood in some cases, some people it's completely gone. Or maybe you don't even like what you do anymore. Maybe it's even too risky, you know, due to the pandemic and whatever. All kinds of possibilities here, but for some reason you may feel that you've wanted to change your livelihood. Not that you've been forced to, but you've wanted to. Okay, well, Jupiter moving here kind of helps you do that. It does open up a lot of possibilities. And with this very nice sextile from the sun in your 12th house means that you can check all of this stuff out in private, in secret. You can make inquiries even without like alarming anyone or letting anyone really know that that's what you're doing. You could even be possibly interested in, I want to say, someone else's position. So that, you know, this would be the time to do something like that. Maybe you know that they are leaving even, or there's going to be an opening. You're keeping this under your hat. You know, there's just all kinds of possibilities opening up for you in this area. Okay. For Cancer. Whoops. Let's get this here. Okay, on Wednesday, May 12th, Mars in your first house, sextiles Uranus transiting in Taurus in your 11th house. So having Mars in your first house makes you very feisty right now. So if there was anyone that you wanted to meet, okay, socially, any kind of organization that you wanted to belong to, or any place that you would like to go to, like hang out, let's say like a nightclub, some new place, anything that you wanted to kind of initiate, this is when you would be doing something like that. Okay, your 11th house, where you have the planet Uranus, kind of brings very unusual and different kind of people into your life now. It's been here for a couple years, so it's nothing new to you. Okay, and it's going to be here for a few more years. So you kind of like the fact that you are meeting different or far more interesting people than you already know. And this just continues, you know. In fact, you're like actively seeking to meet or be part of a different organization, a different group of people. Maybe you are being introduced to someone right now through a friend, or you are being turned on to a new place to go to, or you're the one doing all of this. You are even maybe possibly creating your own new group. You know, the 11th house is your most sociable house, but if you're not able to actually physically get out there in person, you can socialize online. So you may be creating some kind of online group for all of these like new and interesting people that are in your life, along with your friends or whatever that you've had all your life. Okay, on the very same day, Mercury in Gemini in your 12th house trines Saturn transiting in Aquarius in your 8th house. So you have planets in your 12th house right now. They'll be moving into your first house soon enough. So you're very active, even though you are really out there with Mars in your first house. You're still doing stuff behind the scenes or in secret. A lot of times, I always say with Mercury, it's the big investigator. When it's in your 12th house, it's usually when you do a little bit of snooping. You may actually find out that this very nice trine to your 8th house of other people's money and resources, but legacies and inheritances, okay? You may learn even at this time that you are part of someone's will, or you are being left something, even if it's not currently happening right now. Also, though, someone could just actually give you something at this time. The 8th house, it's a money house, but it's, again, a resource house. So anything could be coming your way from someone. They could, I don't even think they're going to lend it to you. I think they're actually going to give you something. But for some reason, you have to keep it quiet. Okay, you could also, this 8th house is the house of legal settlements, insurance payouts, refunds of any kind. It's taxes, but it's tax refunds also. It's bank accounts, credit cards, anything like that. So if you are on the receiving end of any kind of money or benefit right now, you have to keep it secret for some reason, because maybe you are either getting something more than someone else, or if people know that you have this, I don't know, maybe they want to help you spend it or something or other, but you're keeping it to yourself for now, which is probably a good idea. Okay, on Thursday, May 13th, the Sun in Taurus in your 11th house sextiles Neptune transiting in Pisces in your 9th house. And on this same day, Jupiter moves into Pisces very briefly, into your 9th house of travel. This is like Jupiter's the natural ruler of the 9th house. So your mind kind of turns to that area. Maybe this is usually long distance travel or foreign travel even. If you're not able to travel, it's also the house of exploring and adventures. So maybe you are actually creating something like this for you and your friends, since the sextile is from your 11th house of friends, the Sun in Taurus. Okay, so maybe you are planning some kind of adventure with your friends, or any kind of organization that you've either created or have just joined. For Leo, let's see here. On Wednesday, May 12th, Mars in Cancer in your 12th house sextiles Uranus, transiting in Taurus in your 10th house. So having Mars in your 12th house means kind of that you're very, very busy behind the scenes, possibly in secret. I've mentioned this before. When you have Mars in the 12th house, you're possibly working on something that maybe whenever Mars enters your first house, you're going to present to the world. If that's not the case, you are at least checking up on or trying to find out whatever information that you need to know in order to help you in some way secure your position, or make sure that you're more or less safe. Let's put it that way. Okay, well, this sextile to Uranus in your 10th house of your career and your public persona, how you're known by reputation, professionally and personally, kind of means that, there's, you have Venus here right now, the Sun, so you're kind of like the center of attention in a way, and you are secretly enjoying this kind of, or maybe not. Maybe you're letting people know that you do like being, thought of as very popular. But, something could be going on within your public life that is really giving you some kind of satisfaction. You know what I mean? Like you are getting credit for even just being yourself, or for possibly doing something, though. Maybe you have a career where you're really in the public eye or something. So whatever it is that you're known for as far as your livelihood, people could just be kind of like singing your praises right now, okay? Also, though, this is a time where I've mentioned many times that having the planet Uranus in your 10th house kind of like has a bit of a gossipy kind of spiel to it. Sometimes when people don't know enough about you, or they haven't heard from you and how long, they tend to speculate or fill in the blanks or whatever, and with what you've been up to or where you are, or anything like that. So it's almost like they make stuff up, but a lot of times they don't really mean to, but sometimes they just get bits and pieces of what they hear about what you've been doing or this and that, and then they by the time it's told to how many people, it's been twisted and whatever, and it's totally different than what the original story was even. Okay, so this is one of those times where if you find that anyone has anything to say about you that is incorrect, okay, this is when you would be taking care of something like that. Pull them aside and let them know that what the hell are they talking about, okay? On the very same day, Mercury in Gemini in your 11th house trine Saturn transiting in your 7th house of Aquarius. Very nice trine, okay, from Mercury to Saturn in your 7th house of close relationships, partnerships. Your 11th house is your friends, where you go to hang out, the gang that you hang out with, any kind of organization that you belong to. So maybe you are actually forming some kind of new close relationship with someone. Okay, 11th house is also your most sociable house. So if you're not actually able to physically get out, you are online, even joining some kind of group there on social media. But you're creating a really nice connection with somebody that kind of brings them into your circle of friends, and it looks like possibly it's something that will continue in the future. If you don't become just close friends with them, maybe you could even somewhere down the line, there could be romance in the picture, but you just never know. Okay, that's something somewhere down the line. But you do have planets in your 7th house of partnerships, business and or romantic. Okay, Jupiter is here. It's moving briefly into Pisces, and then it's moving back again into your 7th house of Aquarius. So having Jupiter in your 7th house usually brings about marriage or some kind of forming of some kind of close relationship. Okay. So, on Thursday, May 13th, the Sun in Taurus in your 10th house, sextiles Neptune transiting in your 8th house of Pisces. On this very same day, Jupiter does move into Pisces for a brief stay. Okay, so all of a sudden, Neptune's already there, right? So you have Neptune and Jupiter in your 8th house of other people's resources and money, and it's money coming to you through means other than earning it. So I would have to say, the Sun in your 10th house of your career does kind of bring maybe something, maybe not necessarily money, but you could be receiving some kind of perks in whatever you do for a livelihood. If you're self-employed, one of your clients or customers or something could be giving you something, or even if it's more customers and clients. So it in a way it is coming due to your job or whatever it is that you do, but it could also be on a personal level. You could be receiving something or other. It doesn't always have to be money, okay, but something very nice from someone just because of your reputation. It's more than likely somebody that knows you fairly well, but they're thinking about you now because, again, you're like very popular right now, and you're kind of out there in the public eye. So maybe they had something that they were going to give away, and because you came to mind, you're the one that gets it. Okay. So for Virgo, on Wednesday, May 12th, okay, Mars in Cancer in your 11th house, sextiles Uranus transiting in your 9th house of Taurus. So having Mars in your 11th house of dreams, hopes, and wishes, your friends, your acquaintances, any kind of organization that you belong to. It's your most sociable house. It's the group of people that you hang out with and the places where you would normally go to hang out. So if you haven't been physically able to go out, maybe you are socializing online, but having Mars here really does make you want to get out there and, see your friends again, or go someplace where you used to go all the time. Very nice sextile to Uranus in your 9th house. Just kind of means that maybe you are a little bit more in touch with people who have moved away, who don't live in your area anymore. They don't necessarily live far away, but it does make you want to renew or your friendships with people that you know, no matter where they live. If you, especially if you are unable to like get out there physically and be with people, so you may find yourself online a lot more. Let's say even in Zoom calls or something like that. You could actually, though, be because your 11th house is dreams, hopes, and wishes. You could possibly be chasing some kind of goal here right now. 9th house is long distance travel or travel period. So maybe you are making plans for some kind of trip. It's also the house of publishing and media. Maybe you are actually doing something like that. Either you have already published something and right now you're promoting it, or will be, especially when the sun moves into Gemini in your 10th house. There are all kinds of possibilities here. On the very same day, Mercury in Gemini in your 10th house trines Saturn transiting in your 6th house of Aquarius. So we've got your 10th house of your career and your 6th house of the kind of work that you do. So to me, I'd have to say that you are promoting whatever it is that you do. Jupiter's been in Aquarius since December. It's briefly moving into Pisces. Okay, I'll get to that in a minute. But while it's been here in your 6th house, you've expanded in some way or other with the kind of work that you do. That will still continue even when Jupiter leaves here. Saturn is still going to be here, and it's more or less stabilizing what your job, what your work. Okay, it's making it very solid. Okay, and having Mercury in your 10th house does kind of mean that you're being discussed publicly. If you were a person that was like a celebrity type person, you may be interviewed right now, or something that you've said or written could appear in a newspaper, online, magazine, something like that. And this just really helps that whatever you do or say on this day helps your position at work, or it helps the kind of work that you do. On Thursday, May 13th, the Sun in Taurus in your 9th house, sextiles Neptune transiting in Pisces in your 7th house, where Jupiter moves on the very same day. So it kind of looks like you are maybe viewing someone now that I don't know, that you've known, or I don't know if you're actually just meeting someone new. But Jupiter in your 7th house does bring more opportunities to make close relationships, like a romantic relationship or even a business relationship. So this could be business related. It would bring kind of opportunities to form some kind of arrangement or agreement with someone, or even a business, go into business with someone. As far as romance goes, it just looks like you're on the same page. You have the same likes and dislikes. You have a lot in common. Maybe just because this is from the Sun in your 9th house of your philosophy, your background, how you were raised, kind of. It's almost like your 4th house childhood in a way. Because it's how you were taught to believe, your religious beliefs even. That they're in sync with someone that you're possibly meeting at this time. Okay, for Libra, on Wednesday, May 12th, Mars in Cancer in your 10th house, sextiles Uranus transiting in your 8th house of Taurus. So having Mars in your 10th house makes you like a real go-getter at this time, because your 10th house is your house of career and your personal and professional reputation. It's your most public house in your chart. If you were trying to get media attention or anybody's attention, you would be doing that right now with having Mars here. Okay, when the Sun and all these other planets move here, it's the same thing. But having Mars here makes you really aggressively kind of go after a position that you want, and professionally, that's, up the career scale, ladder, whatever. But status, though, too, if it's personal, there could be some kind of prestige or whatever, or acclaim that you're trying to get right now. This very nice sextile to Uranus in your 8th house of other people's resources and money kind of means that somebody could make suddenly whatever it is that they have available to you to use. Could be money if you needed money, but somebody could actually back you right now in your career or something that you are publicly trying to do. It's not like well, okay, on the very same day, you have Mercury in Gemini in your 9th house, trine Saturn, transiting in Aquarius in your 5th house. So your 5th house is your house of romance, speculation, creativity, all kinds of stuff. And Mercury being in your 9th house of higher learning, it's a big travel house and communication house. Very nice trine from your 9th house to your 5th. Kind of means that could possibly be collaborating with someone professionally on whatever, and you are maybe working out the details, the legal details, who owns what, is it equally shared, if this isn't a project, a creative project, if it is a romance, just because you have Jupiter in your 5th house of romance along with Saturn, you're just discovering that you have a lot more in common with someone. Maybe they were just a friend, maybe you're just starting to see them as romantic potential or something like that. But it's nice that maybe you have the same background as far as brains go, schooling. Maybe they are even from your past. Maybe you did go to school together. But it would more or less, it could be grade school or something like that, but it's more or less like college something. Whatever. On Thursday, May 13th, the Sun in Taurus in your 8th house sextiles Neptune transiting in your 6th house of Pisces. So we're back to your 8th house of other people's resources. It's even money coming to you through means other than earning it, though, too. Okay, now Jupiter is here. Okay, on this day, Jupiter does move into Pisces, and your 6th house is the kind of work that you do. It's the workplace, your co-workers, it's your daily schedule. It's also your house of health. But right now I'd have to say, because you have that Mars in your 10th house of career, that everything is like career-oriented right now. Jupiter here and this really nice sextile from the Sun to your 8th house, okay, to Neptune, kind of just means it's maybe suddenly somebody new is on the scene in your job, or some kind of new way of doing something, or it's just some kind of change that's very beneficial to you in regards to the kind of work that you do. Just puts you in a much better position than it did in the past. A lot stronger than you normally had. Okay. So, for Scorpio, on Wednesday, May 12th, Mars in Cancer in your 9th house, sextiles Uranus transiting in your 7th house of Taurus. So Mars is in a fellow water sign, makes very nice trines to any planet that you have in Scorpio, or your rising sign, whatever. 9th house is many things. It's the house of legal matters, travel, long distance travel, communications, media, publishing, higher learning. This nice sextile to Uranus in your 7th house, I'd have to say, is close relationships. If you are involved, let's say that this is the house of partnerships, your 7th house. So we've got business or romantic or just a close friend. So if this is business having Mars in your 9th house right now, you may be checking out the legalities of any kind of business that you're doing with someone else right now. Or if you are in an actual partnership with someone, maybe you are, again, checking out the legalities, because on the very same day that you have this transit, you have Mercury in Gemini in your 8th house, trine Saturn, transiting in Aquarius in your 4th house. So your 8th house, where you have Gemini, is other people's resources and money, but it's also shared property, shared debt, shared bank accounts, credit cards, things like that. So you could actually just be checking out something like that right now. Even if it's not business, if it's romantic, maybe you are checking up on what do you owe? What do you owe? Are you legally responsible for this other person, even though you're not married? Or if you are married, you know, what is legally, what can you do? Okay, about, again, about resources of any kind. You could also, though, be just on the receiving end of something very nice right now from this trine, from your 8th house to your 4th house of your home, your family, your childhood, your personal life, the people you live with, roommates, something like that. But 8th house is legacies and inheritances, so you could actually receive something very nice right now for your home. It could also be something that is from your childhood, or something that you used to have when you were a child, that, I don't know, you could have been looking for, and your partner or whomever could find it and surprise you with it. It's like something that I believe is from your past. For Sagittarius, on Wednesday, May 12th, Mars in Cancer in your 8th house, 6th house, Uranus transiting in Taurus in your 6th house. So having Mars in your 8th house of money, it's other people's money or resources. It's money coming to you through means other than earning it. However, this very nice sextile to Uranus in your 6th house of how you make your money, the kind of work that you do. It's the workplace, your co-workers, it's your work schedule, everything. Okay, so I'd have to say that, you know, you have something, maybe not necessarily money, but other perks or benefits coming to you through the kind of work that you do. 8th house is other people's resources, but it is basically a money house, okay? It is the house of insurance and legal settlements and payouts, credit, refunds, taxes, but it's also tax refunds. It's bank accounts of any kind, dealing with the bank, an increase in credit possibly, all kinds of, like, it's a partnership house though too. If you share bank accounts with someone or credit cards with someone, this is when there's just like an awful lot of activity going on here right now with one of these things. Okay, this is also the house of transformation, personal transformation, more or less. So you're pretty much, you know, you could be doing all of these things all at one time. And maybe you are, let's say as far as work goes, maybe that's your transformation, is you aren't doing the same kind of work that you did before, or you are currently still in your job or whatever it is that you do for money, but whatever you're doing right now on the side is something that you enjoy, or you would like to have it become your main source of income, and this would be your career, more or less, not just your job, okay, not just something that you do for money. So I'd have to say that you're investing in yourself even, but somebody else could be helping you with this Mars in the 8th house. They could be backing you in a way financially. if you are letting them in on whatever it is that you're doing, as far as work goes, your own work. It's your own thing. Okay, having Uranus in your 6th house brings about different kinds of possibilities for a new source of income, but a new creative job, okay, that you've created for yourself. On the very same day, Mercury in Gemini in your 7th house, trine Saturn transiting in Aquarius in your 3rd house. Having Saturn in your 3rd house, and it is retrograde from the 23rd on, actually, so these things will be coming up. Your 7th house is your house of close relationships and partnerships. So maybe you are, let's say, business-wise, or just because of, your job is kind of like in the picture right now with the sun and everything in your 6th house, okay? The kind of work that you do. Maybe you are trying to reach some kind of new agreement, okay? A better contract, better whatever with a business partner. 7th house and even 3rd house are both like contracts, and this nice trine kind of guarantees in a way that it's fair, even if you want to change it sooner or later. Mercury does turn retrograde on the 29th, so into next month, if you change your mind, it looks like you'll be able to do that very thing. But it does, there's some kind of, I believe, arrangement or partnership going on here. Okay. On Thursday, May 13th, the sun in Taurus in your 6th house, sextiles Neptune transiting in your 4th house of Pisces. And on this same day, that May 13th, Jupiter does move into Pisces for a brief stay. Very nice, a lot of opportunities going on here. You may not feel like the effects of Jupiter here because it's here very briefly, but you could also begin something at this time that will like more or less flourish next year when Jupiter's fully here in your 4th house. So you may decide to, we're back to the home operated business, or working from home, or something about your home. You're expanding in some way or other. Maybe you are either bringing people even into your home, but it looks like you're making some kind of changes there, physical changes to your home that makes it larger, or you are creating a certain space or work area for yourself. And if you are just starting out in some kind of new creative field or whatever, this is when you do that. You have all of this in mind. If you're just starting now, this will really pick up at the end of December into next year. That's when Jupiter fully moves into Pisces. Okay, so for Capricorn, on Wednesday, May 12th, Mars in Cancer in your 7th house, sextiles Uranus transiting in your 5th house of Taurus. So Mars in your opposite sign of Cancer kind of brings out aggressive people into your life right now. If you are seriously seeing someone right now, or even just dating, they could be a little bit more pushy at this time, kind of trying to get you to commit or settle down or something like that. But this nice sextile to your 5th house where you have Uranus transiting, kind of brings about some kind of understanding between you and someone else at this time. Okay, having Uranus in your 5th house of romance does bring unusual and different kind of people, or arrangements even, like you're seeing other people, you see each other, whatever, something like that. Maybe that's the new agreement that you're coming to right now with someone. As far as romance goes, 5th house is also the house of creativity, though, too. So maybe, again, you're back to, let's say, making things a little bit more 50-50 if you are in collaboration with someone at this time. Okay, so you each get credit for this, the work that you're doing. On the very same day, Mercury in Gemini in your 6th house trines Saturn transiting in Aquarius in your 2nd house. So your 6th house is the kind of work that you do. It's your co-workers, it's the workplace. You know, this is when planets are here, especially the sun will be moving here and Mars was just here, means that you've had an awful lot of activity going on here with your work. More work, an increase in work of some kind. Maybe, you know, having Saturn and Jupiter in your 2nd house, and Jupiter will be moving, just leaving Saturn here in your 2nd house, kind of means that that sometimes work dries up. Okay, the workload or something. While Jupiter and Saturn are here together, it kind of like evens out. Money goes out though as fast as it comes in. Okay, so it looks like there's a little bit of stability going on here where maybe you are just doing a ton of work right now because you will have a break in a period where you're not working at all, or the work is slow or something like that. So you are kind of like making up for lost time or something and putting money aside for a period when maybe you might possibly not be working so much. On Thursday, May 13th, the Sun in Taurus in your 5th house, sextiles Neptune transiting in your 3rd house of Pisces. Jupiter moves here on the same day, May 13th, into your 3rd house. So these two planets together in your 3rd house of your everyday life and your neighborhood, your neighbors, any place where you would normally go throughout the course of a day, could possibly be, if you're not going on some kind of trip, like a little weekender trip, road trip of some kind, maybe you're making plans to do something like that. But you may actually just be doing something fun with your children, just anyone actually, but the 5th house is also children, aside from romantic partner or someone that you're involved with at this time. But your 3rd house, having Jupiter here, kind of opens up for you. Your area, your neighborhood gets to be a little bit more interesting. So you may be doing something within your own neighborhood, even if it is just going to a party. So for Aquarius, on Wednesday, May 12th, Mars in Cancer in your 6th house, sextiles Uranus transiting in Taurus in your 4th house. So having Mars in your 6th house of the kind of work that you do, the workplace, your co-workers, just kind of, it's even your schedule, your daily schedule period, but also your work schedule. And it's your house of health. Having Uranus in your 4th house of your home and your family, anybody that you live with, but it's your personal life, but it's where you actually live. Okay, so you may be trying to either bring work home, or you have been working from home. If that's not the case, even if you're retired or don't work at all, you're still doing something to bring in more money. Even if it's just creative, even if it's a hobby, you're doing it for fun. Having Jupiter in your 1st house since December, even though it will be briefly moving into Pisces, I'll get to that in a minute, it's still going to be in a really nice area for you. So Jupiter in your 1st house has opened up all these new possibilities, just you wanting to do things that you've always wanted to do throughout your life and just like never got around to it. So Jupiter kind of gives you the idea to explore, or the optimism needed to do something like that, or even the confidence. And having Mars right now in your 6th house means that maybe you are doing some kind of work, even if it is just creative, or even if it is just for fun. But it just, it reeks of you, you know, it's yours, it's got your touch to it, you own it. In fact, nobody may even be able to do whatever it is that you do, so it makes it even more unique at this time. So on the very same day, Mercury in Gemini in your 5th house trine Saturn in your 1st house in Aquarius. So you have, you know, Venus and Mercury even in Gemini, and Mars was just here making you very active creatively. Or 5th house again is romance, fun, speculation, anything like that. You've got a really nice trine from a timer planet. That's what Mercury is. It's a timer in astrology. Okay, it's trining Saturn in your 1st house, so it's bringing Saturn governs stability. You know, the Saturn in the 1st house a lot of times is not fun. Okay, we'll get to that in a minute though too. So there's something going on within your life that in your love life, it's bringing you a feeling of, again, stability, that you're with the right person or that you have found someone reliable. If it's dealing with your children, the same thing. You're very proud of them. They've done something that makes you proud of them. For speculation, it's something that you had planned. It's not like you just woke up one morning and thought, I'm going to lose a lot of money on this or that, you know. Or I'm going to win a lot of money, but whatever. You are having some kind of satisfaction from a 5th house thing, even if it is just fun, having fun. Okay, on Thursday, May 13th, the Sun in Taurus in your 4th house, sextiles Neptune transiting in Pisces in your 2nd house, and on that very same day, Jupiter does move into Pisces very briefly. So you're going to have Jupiter in your 2nd house of income. It's bringing in more income, okay? A very nice sextile, though, from your 4th house of your home, your family. Okay, so possibly there is something going on within your personal life even that is about to expand in some way. Possibly some new form of income or business, or especially having Mars in your 6th house there, you're trying to move everything that you do to home. Okay, you're working out of your home. If again you don't work at all, or if you're retired or something like that, there's still something that you're doing to increase your income in some way or increase your investments. If you're speculating, you are investing in something that possibly grows over time, like stock or something like that, or coins or gold or something or other. Okay, for Pisces, on Wednesday, May 12th, Mars in Cancer in your 5th house, sextiles Uranus transiting in your 3rd house of Taurus. So you have Mars in your 5th house of fun and romance, speculation, any kind of amusement or entertainment. It's creativity, romance, all kinds of fun things going on. When Mars is here, it makes you really possibly want to take up some kind of sport, some kind of physical activity that is just fun. A lot of times people take up like dancing or something just to move around, because you usually have a lot of energy wherever Mars is transiting in your chart. So it makes you kind of energetic or active in going after what that house governs. And I just mentioned all of those things, and they're all a lot of really fun things. So very nice sextile to your 3rd house of your everyday life. Okay, your neighborhood, your neighbors, siblings, cousins, anyone that you communicate with on a daily basis. You know, it brings a lot of very nice activity to this area. Maybe you're about ready to get involved with your own community. Maybe there's something coming up. It depends on what the weather's like wherever you live on this planet. To get together with your neighbors, or be part of something, neighborhood thing that's maybe going on, even if it's like a fair of some kind, or it could even be a block party, or just a garage sale for everybody on your street or something like that. But you may be spending a little bit more time with your neighbors or more people in your own area. On the very same day, Mercury and Gemini in your 4th house, trine Saturn, transiting in Aquarius in your 12th house. So you have Venus and Mercury and whatever. Mars was just here in your 4th house of Gemini. The Sun will be moving here soon. So you're still, you know, your attention is still on your home, the property surrounding it, your family, anyone that you live with, your childhood, your past, but it's your personal life. So if something could occur within your family, or a lot of times, you know, when Mars was here even, you may find out a little bit about, let's say, like a family member, or your past, or your life with you and your cousins or something like that when you were all growing up. But somebody could even possibly let you in on a little secret, a family secret at this time that actually makes you feel kind of good. You know, it could be anything, but I believe that it's something that helps you feel more, let's say, secure. Okay. On Thursday, May 13th, the Sun in Taurus in your 3rd house sextiles Neptune, transiting in Pisces in your 1st house. And on this day, Jupiter does enter your sign. Okay, for a short stay up until like the end of July. And it will fully move into your sign at the end of December into next year. So you'll have this very brief period to really, you know, people born in the earliest signs of Pisces in February, okay, at the end of February, there are the ones that will notice it the most. But anything, excuse me, is helpful. When it's in your sign, the Sun in your 3rd house does make you very talkative, very, it just kind of like puts you more in the mood to get together with your family, your friends even, possibly go to any kind of business within your neighborhood, maybe to patronize them or whatever. But whatever you're doing at this time, it kind of brings about a really good feeling to you, or maybe people view you that way even, that they are any kind of communication actually even that you have with someone, even if it's just talking on the phone. People kind of like when they're done, they feel better after talking to you, okay? Or it could be vice versa. You feel the same way. But it's a very nice exchange between maybe you and someone else, or you and just like a group of people. It could even just be pleasantries within your own area, your own neighborhood. So I hope everyone enjoyed their astrological forecast for this week. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and check out my monthly forecasts. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.